News with Alicia Krause.
And related to our late friend Charlie Kirk, of course, known from The Office, actor Rainn Wilson said that he has some Hollywood liberal friends that are currently celebrating his assassination.
Well, in a world where you try to be consistent, one should be celebrating the death of evil if one is being consistent.
Yeah.
Or, if somebody said, I had a neighbor who was an old man and I hated the guy's guts. And he rode me and he called Department of Building and Safety and he checked unsanitary living conditions on me. And my house was fine and renovated. Anyway, the whole point is when he died, I didn't shed a tear.
Yeah.
I didn't make posts on Facebook explaining that I was happy that
or saying all the horrible things that he said or ever did.
No, but I was not upset because I kept it pretty consistent. I did not like the guy. He was a bad person in my world. He did bad things to me, and if you then believe that that's who this person is, then it would make sense that you would celebrate the death of that person. I mean, there's sort of extremes,
I don't. Does faith component play into it, or does also like a political component? I mean, Don Jr. talked about at the funeral. He was like, there's one side that celebrates death, and there's another side that doesn't, and we want to be on the side that doesn't celebrate it.
Well, they don't have a religion. Politics is their religion. Mm-hmm. So then you have a religion. And everybody who was at the Charlie Kirk Memorial has a religion. Mm-hmm. And so they're deeply religious. So if the devil died, then they would celebrate. But to the atheists, there are no devils. There's living devils. There's Trump and Kirk and Tucker Carlson, depending on what day it is, and Ben Shapiro, depending on what other day it is. And they just have the people they disagree with, but they don't have God or heaven or the rapture or anything. So this is their religion, which, by the way, is why they paint everything in a sort of religious text, evil.
Yes.
And meaning religious people, like you take all the Charlie Kirk people, the people who filled the stadium and the people who spoke. They don't like a lot of, they don't like Nancy Pelosi, but they don't really throw around the word evil. Yes. They just don't like her and they disagree with the policy and stuff because if you're religious, evil.
Like a dumb bee might be the meanest thing they say about her.
Right, because you need to use the word evil for real evil.
Yes.
Because there is actual evil. Having 2 walk-in size refrigerators filled with Haagen-Dazs double fudge does not make you evil.
Getting your hair done during COVID when everybody else was shut down.
Right, but that doesn't make you Stalin. That doesn't make you a person that digs mass graves and things like that. So I think there's a context that religious people have where they go, this is what evil is.
Yes.
And we will save our stuff for what is evil. And the guy shot Charlie Kirk is evil. Mm-hmm. So we'll call him evil and we'll call the ladies from The View dumb bitches. And that's where we'll take it. But
we're not broad stroking everybody on the left that we disagree with as evil.
Well, they claim to be religious, but they're not religious. And so
like Nancy Pelosi, who claims to be Catholic, but is
Nancy
super
Pelosi,
duper pro-abortion.
Yeah, and Biden and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they're not, and neither is Hollywood. So then evil gets real blurry for them because they can think that if Hobby Lobby is not giving their female employees birth control, then they're evil. Meanwhile,
and the nuns who also wouldn't do the same thing that the Obama administration wanted to sue are also evil.
Right, but then they forget about the people in parts of Africa that are, Boko Haram or something, who's abducting young school-age girls and killing them. So my thing with evil is I don't like to toss it out that willy-nilly because I feel like it loses some of its impact. You know what I mean? If Nancy Pelosi's evil and mass murders are evil, then one of them's not evil or both of them aren't evil.
And when there is a danger, I'm not going to be that type of person that's like, well, where's it dangerous? That's not my vibe. But when the left is consistently saying those things over and over and over again, then it does fudge the lines a bit because it's like, so then somebody should be killed for what they say?
Well,
then should they?
Well, here's an interesting thing, and I'll see if I can be a little bit profound here, because I had a thought today I had never thought about. Which
sometimes you can be.
It can be. Okay. It's like when they call people racist, they don't believe that person's racist. They just throw stuff out all day, every day.
To try to win an argument that they have no factual evidence for.
They don't have enough dignity to realize that's kind of a horrible thing to say about somebody, and you should choose your words wisely, and you know this person wasn't that, but they don't care. So it's a dignity thing. But anyway, they call everyone's racist, and again, they don't believe it. So, we do this thing where it's like, oh, you got all these guys calling Trump Hitlerian and a dictator going into the election. Then they win the election, and they're having lunch with him at the White House, and everyone goes, why would you have lunch with Hitler? Because they never believed he was Hitler. That's why they have love with Hitler. But these are been there, done that. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, 70-something-year-olds, 80-something. They've been around the block a zillion times, But
they know they have to kiss the ring.
Yeah, but they're not that corruptible in that they don't think he's Hitlerian. They don't think he's racist. They don't think he's socialist or he's a dictator. They say it, but they don't believe it. Now, here's what I'm getting to. Well, first off, if Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi actually thought Trump was Hitlerian or Hitler, then they should get themselves a briefcase bomb and go visit him in the Oval Office. That's what a patriot would do if you thought that's what it was. They don't think it.
Or actually unseat him in a constitutional manner, maybe create a military coup. There's lots of options.
Yeah, but
they haven't even pursued that. They did the whole impeachment
so what
thing,
I'm saying is it'd be Project Valkyrie or whatever that Tom Cruise movie was. The whole point is they don't believe it, is what I'm saying. They don't believe it. And I don't believe it, and you don't believe it, because we're older, we've been there, and we've done that, and that's fine. But what if I just grew up staring at screens and playing, first shooter video games and on all these dark corners of the web since I was 9, and now I'm 21. Well, then I might believe it. Because I used to say during COVID, they're scaring all the kids so they can crate train the kids, because you got to get hold of that pup young and crate train them early. And you get hold of them early,
then they have to rely on you.
Yes, you can crate train them.
Yep.
And you go, hey, into the crate. And they just go run for the crate. You can't do it to old Adam Carolla. His brain, the cement on the sidewalk of Adam Carolla's brain dried a long time ago, and you can't put your initials in it, bitch.
There's a tree with roots growing up under.
Popped it up. Old woman fell, broke her hip last weekend. City still never got to it. It's been 4 years.
Gum is just pressed into the...
I like when the city puts spray paint on it, where it's like, look, we're not going to fix anything, but we will put some spray paint on it.
Make sure your walker doesn't hit this old broad.
So you can't get to me.
Yep.
I don't believe you that he is Hitler, but if all I did was play video games and sit online and go to deep corners of the web since age 10,
or if
and now I'm 21.
If you were in the Rainn Wilson, Mark Ruffalo, liberal Hollywood circles, those people ain't 21 that have been sitting on video games. They're in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they're like calling the shots on the entertainment that the world is seeing.
But they don't believe it either.
Well, okay, so
they don't believe it like do you know moderately rich people live on the hillside of Malibu, but super rich Hollywood people all live along the coast, on the water in Malibu. I mean, you got to think about that stretch of Malibu, Carbon Beach and whatnot, Billionaires Beach. You walk up and down Pacific Coast Highway, people always go, oh, that's Leonardo DiCaprio's place. Like, I literally, a showbiz friend of mine lived next door to Leonardo DiCaprio's. Everything is, that's Barbara Streisand. All the wokest, all the most environmentalists, they're all vying to pay an extra $20 million to get 60 feet closer to the ocean, although they never stop talking about sea rising. So do they believe it? No, they do not.
Yep.
They do not believe it. And they don't believe Hitler either. But that doesn't mean you can't get dumb 15-year-olds to believe. That doesn't mean you can't get Greta Thunberg to believe it.
Oh, God.
All right, so we'll listen to the clip. Who is this? Mark
So this
Ruffalo?
is Mark Ruffalo's podcast, and Rainn Wilson was on the podcast over the weekend, and this is what he had to say.
With his ideas, shooting someone that we disagree with, even if they're vociferous and loud and out there, is so colossally wrong-headed. I spoke to a couple of, let's say, some liberal friends last night at an event, and they were like, you won't find me shedding any tears. And someone else was like, oh, well, there was a little bit of a kind of a good riddance thing. And it's like, guys, no.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know.
We cannot think or talk that way.
Not at all.
That is not
It's
okay.
so dangerous, man. I mean, my first thought was, also we had another school shooting.
Yeah. Which totally got buried in the headlines.
Got buried in the headlines. Of course it would, though. And listen, I'm someone who, my brother was murdered. I lost my brother through gun violence, And so this is a real personal topic for me. There's no winning. We'll never win this way. There's no idea that if we cheer on our opponents being hurt or harmed in any way, that we win as a society. And we all lose. Like I know what his family is going through. Like I understand that on such a personal level. And it's a tragedy that not only the person who is killed experiences, but the entire family and community
All right,
around
hold on
that
a second.
person.
I don't think Mark Ruffalo needs a podcast. This is not a guy who needs a podcast.
But even though I agree with you that he doesn't need a podcast, and I disagree with him 99.999% of the time, like his stances on Israel is just utter bullshit. I appreciate him saying this.
Well,
but it's so crazy that this has to be said.
The bar is so goddamn low now that a guy just speaking sense and being halfway
like, we're not
human.
okay with murder? You're not okay with murder? Oh, you're not okay with murder? And then we're cheering him on.
Now something
like,
we can agree on.
That, right?
Yeah. Anyway, not everyone needs a podcast. Mark doesn't need a podcast.
There's a lot of celebrities that have podcasts, though. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
They don't all need one. There are people who can talk and people who can think, and
sometimes it's not the same.
If your podcast, if you took an hour-long podcast of his and got rid of the air and the filler and the stuff that didn't need to be said, it could be 9 minutes.
So talk radio thing, when I was a producer, sometimes when you had a fill-in host, they would always request like a ton of guests and a ton of callers.
Right.
And the reason that they request a ton of guests and a ton of callers is because they don't feel confident in their ability to fill 3 hours of radio.
Well, which
is actually 2 hours of radio once you take out the commercials and the break, all that stuff.
I talk through the commercials, so for me, it's a full 3 hours, babe. It's a skill, and it's an invisible skill, and people don't get it, and it's reps, and it's everything else, and it's no different than playing the piano or riding a unicycle or archery or something. Like, you've got to practice. Like,
I love how you just named
a
couple of things that you can do.
Archery, piano.
Unicycle.
No, I named things specifically that I can't do, but I can ride a unicycle. But no one would hand somebody a unicycle and go, off you go.
Yep.
You'd go, I never rode. Come on, hop on.
Do it. Anybody can do it.
You'd go, no, the guy's got to do it for a little while, or piano or archery.
Yep. It's a gift.
Well, no. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying it's not a gift. I think
it's both.
Well, look.
I think it's totally both. I think that, so I used to work for Hannity, and I used to produce his radio show, and Sean is unique in that he has the ability to do cable TV and a 3-hour radio show. And his original love was radio. You're unique in that you can do stand-up comedy and podcasting. There are people that are kick-ass stand-up comics, but they couldn't do a podcast every day.
I thank you. And I'm not really pushing back against both. I'm saying the reps part of it will make you proficient at it, but you don't get to Sean Hannity household name level without the gift and the reps, Back to archery. I could sit and hire an instructor who came to your home every day for an hour, and you could be okay, but you wouldn't be gifted like someone might be gifted, or a race car driver.
Yeah, I'm not going to be an Olympic archer.
Yeah, you could get around the track at a good pace on the car, but you wouldn't necessarily have that instinct, you know? So, yeah, reps are important. And we've all been on people's radio shows that just had reps, and they didn't have any ability, but the reps were enough to kind of keep the plate spinning. All right, anyway, Mark Ruffalo doesn't need a podcast. Here we go. What's our next story?
Our next story is kind of along the same lines of the importance of free speech. Angelina Jolie said that she doesn't recognize the United States while advocating for free speech at a film, the San Sebastian International Film Festival. I was just there. I saw them setting up for that.
I would say this. Here's one of the few times I could agree with Angelina Jolie.
Yep.
If she would walk through the San Fernando Valley, walk through Sunland, walk through Pacoima, walk through Canoga Park, look at all the signs in Spanish, listen to all the radio shows, see all the garbage and graffiti everywhere, and see everyone selling the dogs on the street and go, I don't recognize this country, I would go, you're right, bitch. I don't either. It looks more like Tijuana to me. But she would never say that. She would just talk about systemic oppression or totalitarian, whatever, but never impacts them.
I think she likes the international vibe. She says, quote, I have to say that I love my country and I don't at this time recognize my country. She told this to people at a press conference, specifically per The Hollywood Reporter on Sunday. I've always lived internationally. My family's international. Of course, I'm sure she's referring to her children who are adopted from, 4 different countries?
I'm guessing.
My life, my worldview is equal and united. Anything, anywhere that divides or limits personal expressions and freedoms for anyone, I think is very dangerous. I think these are such serious times that we have to be careful not to say things so casually. And she said that she was going to be careful about what she said at the press conference, which was really sad. And then she said, but these are very, very heavy times.
She doesn't need a podcast either.
I agree.
I'll decide. I would like to just...
You want a list? That'd be a fun game.
I want to issue badges like New York City used to do with taxis or liquor permits
like this
out here.
Celebrity deserves a podcast. This celebrity does not. Let's play that game next time I'm here.
The poobah, the grand poobah of podcasters, you convince me why you deserve a podcast, and I will either issue you a badge or not.
I think I just want to toss out names, and then you can be like, yay or nay.
You know what, though? I'm going to be a little more even-handed.
Some people do it well. Some people who are actors and stuff, they obviously like have the relationships. They can get you can get certain celebrities in here. That's interesting conversation that the American audience likes to see, like the behind the curtain, and they do it well. But then others like do not do it well, and they're trying to copycat, and it just doesn't work.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but it's the woman who made the vagina candles. Should she have a podcast?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
God, no.
I'd have to smell the candle and sleep on it.
Right.
Physically on. When I say on it, I mean on the candle.
We know.
I think I was trying. I hope I was being clear.
I got it.
A lot of people think I'm thinking about it when I say sleep on it. I mean actually on that candle.
But not with it.
She's very interesting.
I can't stand the sound of her
life
voice.
experience.
She's been there and she's done that. I would listen to her. She has to now come in and impress me before I issue her badge that lets her do podcasting.
You can talk to her about ski accidents and and defeating the legal system.
She hit a guy on the slope. The guy sued her.
She won.
What I'd probably do with her is I'd go, I'm going to issue you a 6-month badge.
Oh.
And we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
And if I don't like what I hear, then you'll get no badge.
Okay.
I will take the badge back. But let's just see how this goes.
All right.
Trial badge. But she could have. That's my whole point. I don't know.
Like
she could be out of this world. I don't want to say she's bad just because I would assume she's bad, but she might be super interesting.
So you'll give her a 6-month badge, but Angelina Jolie, you don't want to hear at all?
Well, she already said she had to be careful what she says.
Yeah, so that's not going to make for an interesting podcast.
That's a strike.
Like you need a little edge.
This might be a softball.
Okay.
Charlize Theron.
Hate Charlize Theron. Hate her. But I'll listen to what she has to say.
Don't you think you already know what she has to say?
Well, see, this is
I think a lot of these people don't have much to say because they're so used to saying things that have been written by other people.
Charlize Theron, I don't know if you guys are with her, Theron. I don't know if you're there. I file them under the Ilhan Omar heading in that people who live here who hate this country bother me. But people who come here from shitty countries and thrive here who shit on this country bother me to a next level.
I get that.
Right?
Yeah.
And the people especially the people who have experienced all the fruits of this country while...
Like Mamdani.
Yes, while escaping someplace. Now, the worse your country was and the more you have here, the more I hate you. And she came from South Africa and she got here. God, Trevor Noah does this too. He comes here from South Africa and then he talks about what a racist piece of shit this country is. It drives me nuts. I don't want to get into that simple game of why don't you just go back? But I do think that just go fucking back. If your heart's in the Sudan or whatever the fuck it is, then just go enjoy your paradise that you fled from with guys chasing you with machetes. But okay, she came here. She's a billionaire, has a life of Riley, adopts whomever she wants to adopt, and then goes on tirades explaining to us why there's certain places she won't bring her black kids because of this racist country we're living in, except for she never says the places. And also,
she's never like Mobile, Alabama.
Well, and her kid statistically is going to get shot by a black kid, not by a white supremacist.
If they are in an unsafe neighborhood that BLM has told us shouldn't be policed.
Right. So and
joins a gang.
So, there's Ilhan Omar's at the top because her country was horrible and she's a millionaire now and all she does is shit on this country. But there is plenty of room for anybody.
Should Ilhan Omar have a podcast?
No, she shouldn't. Well, first off, she's not a great speaker.
I'd rather her spend her time on a podcast than her spend time like passing horrible legislation and radicalizing the Democratic Party anymore.
Or just on CNN. Okay. Homegrown sort of...
Homegrown ungratefulness is, I think, more so understandable because you have been... It's like the bourgeois terrorists. It's like you're in this little protective bubble and you like to think that you're a quote unquote freedom fighter and you have all of these first world privileges that you think are horrible and awful while you're living off of daddy's trust fund.
Yes.
I can kind of understand the psyche of that. So I agree wholeheartedly. But when it's someone else from another country that's come here and utilized our awesome system to grow themselves and to grow their bank accounts and to grow their fame, then they do that.
Especially if we literally saved your life because you fled here and it's just bash. Those are the worst for me.
Yep.
That's who I hate the worst. All right. What's the next one?
All right. Apparently misogyny knows no gender. Alex Wagner and Senator Joe Manchin discussed Kamala Harris's new book, apparently woke words and government shutdowns on Bill Maher over the weekend. We have a video of this.
No podcast for Alex Wagner, by the way.
You don't think the Republicans would vote for a woman?
I just think misogyny runs deeper and stronger than we like to imagine.
I'm not.
I think the country is ready for a change, Bill. And if it has a good woman and a good strong woman, I think every time I had to negotiate a bill and I had female senators, I thought a better bill. The compassion they brought to it, the understanding they brought to it was different than what a man thinks. And they had so much more. So maybe.
But then,
no podcast
why
for
are
him either.
we so far behind most other countries in the world?
I don't know. White women keep giving elections to Donald Trump. So, there's that reality, too. It's not just we're talking about a binary here where it's men and women. That just misogyny knows no gender.
Oh, really?
Ugh.
By the way,
so bad.
So I like Nikki Haley. Probably going to get hit for that in comments. But, put up a good female candidate, and I bet you white women in the country that care about national security and our bank accounts not going downhill and schools being better for our children would vote for that woman. But turns out Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton haven't been that. So stop trying to be like, vote for them because of their hoo-ha. How about we vote for the person that we think is going to be best for us, our business, and our families?
Speaking of hoo-ha, I'm going to need one of those Gwyneth Paltrow candles. ordered up
for the night.
Sleep on that tonight.
Got it.
So get that express ship.
You think you can Amazon Prime it?
You know, I was thinking I spent the day and then the evening with Dave Rubin and Sage Steele. And in our world, in the projection world of the Democrats, like gay man, black woman of color.
Unless you're conservative.
But I realized as I met them and we hung out and then went out with their Sage's husband that night and everybody, and I took them out to dinner. I just thought, I never thought about their sexual proclivities or the color of their skin once the entire time, because I would just know Sage as Sage.
Yep.
And Dave is Dave. I don't, it makes no never mind. I know it sounds convenient. Guys like me are the guys they claim think about it the most and would never vote for.
Yeah, like you and Trump and the Bible Belt people.
And blah, blah, blah. Yep. I have zero interest. Dave Rubin, the second he starts giving me ideas, then he ceases to be a gay man and he's just a guy with ideas, you know? And I don't know a person, first off, said this a million times, if this is their game, and it is their game, Gavin Newsom is 6'2" and he's white. I'm 6'2" and I'm white. We're approximately the same age. We're both heterosexuals and we're both born and bred in California. And I think he's a sociopathic, imbecile, dangerous nut job. I would never want him coming near the White House. He's dangerous to me because his ideas are so corrupt, but he doesn't even have his own ideas. He's a sociopathic fucking buffoon. And I would much rather have the blackest man I know, Larry Elder, as the governor of California. Why? Because his ideas are better. And I don't know.
And by the way, his ideas are better, not just for you, the 6'2" white man from Brentwood, Los Angeles, California, but his ideas are better, we think, and we have the proof to back it up, for every single American, including the minority ones.
Right. So it's so condescending and slimy and just kind of gross to constantly go, we couldn't. Hillary Clinton is a horribly flawed person, and Kamala Harris is wildly flawed. And they're both bad people with bad ideas. I would never
and really
want them
bad
to charge
communicators,
anything.
too.
They're both really bad at getting their message across. Yes. On the other hand,
maybe women aren't misogynistic. We just have really good BS monitors.
I would take Hillary Clinton over Joe Biden. I mean, it'd be close, but I'd take Hillary Clinton over Joe Biden.
Especially after we saw how horrible he was.
But I would take Sage Steele over Mitt Romney. All right, so just knock it off. It's 2025.
Mitt Romney, also a 6'2" white guy. Actually, I don't know if he's that tall. I think he's over 6 feet, though.
He may be.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more?
We do have one more.
All right.
Okay, Jasmine Crockett. Up there with Ilhan Omar and AOC of ladies that we do not want to have a podcast.
Yeah, well, to be fair to Jasmine, she just lies. I mean, Ilhan believes it, but I think Jasmine just lies. She doesn't care. Whose podcast
I don't know. It's Jonathan Van Ness. He's one of the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy guys.
Oh, okay.
Yep. How do you not know this? So he's one of the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy guys. Do you know the premise of the show?
He's got Kenny G's hair, but maybe
his hair is actually kind of fabulous.
Maybe the G stands for gay.
Well, he is very gay.
Well, then that's Kenny G.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Sometimes he cross dresses.
Okay.
He wears the heels and the dresses.
People's
and stuff.
hair bother me a lot, but all right. So,
wait, does my hair bother you today?
No. I am.
What, like, you don't like men with long hair?
Well, it's like almost that guy can't really decide. Right?
I don't like I don't like people with lots of hair and lots of trouble hair.
Trouble hair?
Trouble hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was sitting in a lobby of a fancy hotel over the weekend, and a family came in, and the 3 daughters, probably aged 9 to 13, all just had massive cornrow, just piles of hair. And I just thought, that's a full-time job for all 3 of you. Like, you're spending an inordinate amount of time
on
dealing with this hair. And there's 24 hours in the day. I mean, there's only a certain amount, there's a finite amount of time you can spend on things.
But God gave them that hair. God, I don't think gave Jonathan Van Ness this hair. He's working on this hair. So I think he's spending an inordinate amount of time on his hair to make it look
didn't
this
give
way.
anyone 3-foot long braids.
No, that's true. But they genetically have different hair, and like using the cornrows is the way that they do their hair. Like, that's fine.
I'm saying they spend an inordinate amount of time on their hair, and I think it's a waste of time.
Do you know how much time white women spend on their hair? Other than this one right here? Because I don't fix it ever?
You couldn't spend more time than what these guys were spending on their hair, because that's a lot. Anyway, you disagree. Here we go. Although you don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway. Go
what
ahead.
ends up having people become criminally impacted really informs so much of what I do legislatively, right? So when people are like, oh, crime is terrible. And yes, it is, right? Like, because when somebody goes out and commits a crime, they don't typically, say, well, I'm a D or I'm an R, I'm an I. It's not like literally like, it's about, well, how do you fix it? How do you make communities safer? And I do think that I'm in a unique situation because I was having the conversations with people that were going out and committing crimes. And so I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal.
All right, you can pause it here.
Yep.
Dawson's been around long enough to hear me. I've been yelling about this for a decade now. It's not the nut job, crackpot, stupid politician in your studio who's at fault. It's the head nodders. You do say. Like they go, just
like what
because
she said was just so profound.
Just because I am a Pisces doesn't mean I act like a Pisces. Yeah. Okay. I hear. I've yelled about it all the time. That was all the idiots on CNN who are like, well, there's horse pace. No one went, hey, you're misunderstanding this point. Or there's a polite way to do it. You can go, that sounded confusing.
Yep.
Explain that.
Well,
I want to hear him. I want to hear his again. That's my favorite.
The part where she says, just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That's when he does the
Oh, wow. Powerful. I've never thought about that before.
I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different.
So hold on.
Sounds like
you're
it's tasting
saying
soup.
Just because I'm a clown and I work at a circus doesn't make me a circus clown? You ready, Dawson? I want some knowing nods, all right? You ready? Just because I'm the dean of students at Colfax Elementary doesn't mean I'm the dean of students at Colfax Elementary. Well, I like that. That went up. That had a question mark to it.
That was a tell me more.
I want a knowing. I want a knowing grunt.
Okay.
I want a knowing grunt. In my world, one death is too many deaths when it comes to death. I dream of a world where everyone has a seat at the table of dignity.
Yeah.
And where no child gets left behind.
Heard that one before.
She began by talking about what she does legislatively. I would argue that you've done the exact same amount legislatively.
Legislative work.
Well, I don't know that she ever goes to work. All I do is see her on TV.
On podcasts.
Shows and podcasts.
And behind a podium talking about Governor Hot Wheels.
Oh, Governor Hot Wheels. I forgot about that.
Remember that? And then she said she didn't say it. And then there was video of her saying it.
I will,
it's like own up to it.
I will say this. We are living in a world now where videotape of you doing or saying something doesn't mean that much.
Oh my God. My husband and I were talking about this last night, like with conspiracy theories, because of just AI and editing and all the talking heads. And it's like, who can be trusted and who can't? It's real life Manchurian Candidate meets, I don't know, 1984 meets a lot of factors when you could make up something that you and I said and it could go viral. And then once the truth comes out, it's like the New York Times corrections that come out like a
Right.
week later. And like a bajillion people see the first one, but then only 50,000 people see the second. It's kind of scary.
Well, the scary part is most of the sort of hoaxes or fake news or whatever we had to deal with all throughout COVID and before that, a lot of Russiagate stuff and that kind of stuff. It's all on video. They're self-imposed confusion about fine people on both sides or whatever it is, injecting bleach or something. You can watch the video on your phone.
Yeah.
But they're still moving forward with it. And then my favorite one is when someone is clearly joking, says somebody, or like you take
Like Trump was at the memorial service about hating his enemies, and he like was doing it for the laugh.
no, yes,
But NPR and CNN run with, despite forgiveness from a mostly Christian audience, Donald Trump says he hates his enemies.
well, the ones I like, yes, I like that one. I like Dictator Day One.
Yes.
Because in the same video, he goes, then I'm going back and I'm just going to do it to drill and get energy independent. It's the most interpretable thing on the planet. So now, I don't know what you call it when you willfully misinterpret things other people say, but that's a bad place to be in.
Dishonest, lack of character, dangerous.
As a journalist, it's not a good default setting.
Journalist.
As I would say.